Hello, I'm Tatiana. I'm a psychologist and psychotherapist working in Canary Wharf in London, also via the internet. This is a video about the meaning of the autumn and how to take care of yourself and make the most of this season. And it's a follow up from my previous video talking about seasonal affective disorder. And how I said in that video is something that affects a number of people, but a lot of us have some different issues or they're not diagnosable as a disorder as such, but we still struggle, with low energy or low mood at times and a certain slight depression. So I put together these ideas as a way to expand a little bit our thinking about this time of the year and what it may mean to some of us. Of course, meaning of this season of this time of the year can be very individual, and it is very individual. And we all going to have our own connection with things that happen to us during this time, or our expectations, our tastes, or what we like and what we don't like about autumn. But there are general trends and there are general ideas that I would like to share with you and perhaps expand a little bit the understanding of why some of us struggle during this time and what can we do to sort of enjoy this time of the year, make the most of it for ourselves and for the people around us. So the first idea I want to bring up is the myth of Persephone. In the Greek mythology, Persephone was a young teenager and she was kidnapped by the god of the underworld, Hades. And, half of the year she would spend in the underworld and half of the year she would be with her mom in the nice, warm areas. And during the time she was in the underworld, the earth was like resting from fertility, from producing goods. And during the year, during the months that she's with her mom, the earth is fertile and bountiful. So the underworld has the symbolism of the inner world, our most internal world, our own unconscious, and our own contact with ourselves and the deeper parts of ourselves. So, in a way, this time of the year could invite us to be more in contact with those parts of ourselves, different from spring and summer when there is more light, more heat, and in theory, more contact with other people, more socializing, and it does happen. At least here in the UK, I can see that there is a clear change in terms of people's energy to go out and be outside and enjoy each other's companies during the summer months and the springtime when it's warm. So this time of the year is an invitation from nature to be more in contact with our internal processes, our internal world, and it's a great time to do some work on yourself and find out a bit more about yourself, and it's a good time to reflect, maybe through some journal, maybe some drawing, some painting, and allowing ideas and your creativity and imagination to come forward. And another idea that I like to bring, so there is this idea of going more introspective time. I think that is very appropriate for this time of the year, and I certainly feel much more inclined to spend time indoors and reading and quieter activities than in the summer and the spring. So the second thing I'd like to talk about is about change and rhythm. This is a very important topic for me. I feel that we are very disconnected from nature in the Western industrialized societies like the UK, where the culture and the environment, and it's becoming a global thing. We are expected to behave and to perform as machines throughout the year all the time at the same level of energy. And the fluctuations of energy levels and disposition and mood are not really valued or seen or understood in our culture nowadays, in our modern, postmodern culture. And I feel that this is a big problem, and it causes a lot of anxiety for people. And I see that every day in my work, that people come and they feel worried about being worried, worried about being anxious, worried about feeling low. And many, many times, these are natural feelings, natural rhythms that we have, peaks and troughs of energy and openness to the outside world, to engage with life. We may have times to rest. And our society is not, and more, we are not having enough time to rest and not enough time to offload and to be in contact with our internal processes. More and more, we are bombarded with information. More and more, we are spending time on our phones. The technology is there all the time. Lights are on all the time. 24-hour cities, 24-hour emails arriving in our mailbox. So more and more, we're becoming even more disconnected from nature. But the truth is, we are not machines. Our bodies, our nervous system, our minds and emotions are not machines. They don't behave in a logical order all the time, or a lot of the time they don't. And this disconnection from the natural rhythms can really bring a lot of anxiety, as we were expected to behave constantly at a high level of performance and not respecting the rhythms of nature. So I love this time of the year because it really reminds me, at least clearly, that there is a rhythm. There is a rhythm of activity and inactivity, of leaves on the trees, leaves off the trees, and I love where I am. There are lots of trees around me, and I am reminded all the time that each tree has their own time to shed the leaves. Some of them are completely naked already, and we are here in the end of the autumn, the last month of autumn, and some of them still have quite a lot of leaves on. And it reminds me, nature has its own rhythm, and each type of tree has their own time. So why do we expect, why do we buy into this idea sometimes that we are all supposed to be in a certain way and behave in a certain, pattern in terms of performance, when really we are very, very individual, and we have these ups and downs of energy and ability to engage, and respecting that and being aware of that, even though you may have to turn up for work, but it's just being aware and not reproducing an oppressive, controlling culture that ignores all these natural rhythms and the connection with nature that we are part of. So I think this is a very important point for me in terms of accepting change and understanding rhythms of nature and how much they affect us or how much we are part of it. So I think I'd like to just remind people of that. There are two more aspects of autumn that I'd like to talk about. One is preservation and resources. So looking after yourself, looking after your immune system, building up reserves, really, not doing much more than you can, understanding what are your needs, what are the basic needs, because these are going to be very tested in the next colder months, the next months of the winter. So preserving yourself, looking after yourself, creating a level of comfort so you can endure the next few months. I think that is very important. So I also know that from my own experience that comfort is a really important factor for personal growth, for healing. And we know that, yes? So if we can remember that it is a challenging time for many people, it's important that if we can make ourselves and those people around us comfortable so they can endure the next few months healthy and happy. Thank you. See you at the next video.